At the beginning of the semester, we were asked to define communication. I looked at a lot of different definitions online, and after a long search, I found Julia Wood's definition of communication, which states that communication is a systemic process in which people interact with and through symbols to create and interpret meanings. Wow, that's a lot to take in. Let's break it down bit by bit. Julia Wood explained that when we say process, it means communication is ongoing and always in motion, moving ever forward and changing continually. You cannot freeze communication at any one moment. Dr. Muehlhoff illustrated this as trying to watch a random episode of a TV series without knowing any context of the story. You will probably not understand what is happening in that show. It's because all of communication is a process. Every conversation has a history behind it. We're now done explaining what process means. Next, let's go with systemic. Julia Wood explained it as communication occurs within a system of interrelated parts that affect one another. The physical environment and the time of the day are elements of the system that affect interaction. People interact differently in a living room and in a formal event. Different modes of communication also affect what happens between people. Some people are dissatisfied with texting and chatting. Conversations through phone may even lead to misunderstandings. Now, let's define symbols. Symbols are abstract, arbitrary, and ambiguous representations of other things. It includes all language and many nonverbal behaviors, as well as art and music. Anything that abstractly signifies something else can be a symbol. Dr. Muehlhoff stated a survey where a huge population of women were asked, would you rather make love to your husband or have a good conversation on the couch with your husband? 81% of the respondents picked having a good conversation. They define intimacy as face-to-face interaction. If a husband said to his wife, I want to be intimate, and she says, I want to be intimate too, they might be using the same words but with different meanings. Finally, let's define meanings. Dr. Muehlhoff told a story about when he and his wife, Noreen, was just still dating, and in the middle of an argument, he just casually said, listen, you're frustrating me, but I know that I love you. Now, he never said I love you to her before, and what he meant by it was, I like you a lot. However, Noreen didn't hear it that way. For her, the word love is synonymous with marriage. Dr. Muehlhoff said that it really wigged out Noreen and said, I'm not ready to get married. He answered, I'm not either. Love, instead of just being a word, became a symbol. We use symbols to create our own meanings. We ask others to be sounding boards so that we can clarify our own thinking. We talk to them to figure out what things mean and listen to them to enlarge our perspectives. So this is my definition of communication at the beginning of the semester. Do you think it will change at the end of this Comm10 journey? It certainly did. Throughout the course, I learned the evolution of communication. The way we communicate evolved. Our language evolved. As society evolves, so does communication. As what is stated in our module, communication fluidly restructures itself to suit the demands of communicators. Ideologies have changed a lot, and it affected communication very much, and vice versa. Communication was not only shaped by these ideologies, but communication also became a tool in the evolution of these ideologies. The last part of this journey was the one that made a great impact on me. We had a special topic about our roles as communicators in the virtual space. My eyes were opened to the reality of the current era we are in. It felt like the original design of communication is perverted from spreading the news to fake news, from knowing the truth to ignoring the truth. I was reminded of the deeper purpose of communication, the new meaning of communication that I discovered. Communication is not just about public speaking. It's not just about sending messages, answering calls, nor sharing posts on social media. Communication is foundational to every aspect of our lives. It is important in the family, important in marriage. It is important in maintaining or destroying the peace between countries. Communication is important in fighting for our rights, in speaking up for the marginalized, in speaking up for truth. Let's not take the power of communication for granted. In this culture where feelings and preferences are elevated over facts and truth, let's not be passive anymore. I'm encouraging you to stand up and speak for truth today.